Hey, I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain, and today I'm going to show you guys how to install a Tusk Stage 2 Upgrade Kit on your brand new Polaris XP 1000 or XP Turbo. Now, the Stage 2 kit is the mid-grade kit. You're going to be getting some premium features in it, and it's going to help your machine stand out and maximize rider comfort. So what comes in the kit is your full glass windshield with the wiper. You get the pivot folding mirrors. You've got the force aluminum roof and the abrasion resistant polycarb rear window. So those are the items that come in the kit. I'm going to show you how to get them installed. To start out, we're going to remove the two bolts going through the A-pillar on the passenger side. And we will be reusing both of the nuts on the back side. Now the top bolt is stuck in the roll cage, so we're going to take the alignment punch, we're going to pry on that and remove the bolt. Next, we're going to take our new mounting bolt with the washer. We're going to go through the mirror mounting bracket, and obviously where we mount the mirror, this is going to be facing towards the back of the machine. And we're going to start with this top bolt. So we're going to take the punch and again line up the roll cage, or line up the holes in the roll cage, and press this through. And then once you have that top bolt started, through that nylock nut on the back side a couple of threads, we'll go ahead and install the bottom bolt with the nylock. Then once they're both started, we'll go ahead and tighten them down. To get the mirrors installed, number one, you want to have the correct mirror on each side, so we have the lettering in the correct orientation. And then we're going to remove this 13mm head bolt from the mirror. We also have that star washer. The bolt is going to go through the mounting bracket, and we've got that star washer, and then we can thread the bolt into the mirror. We'll make our adjustments and tighten it down. Then we'll go ahead and do those same steps on the other side. For the roof, we have the hardware kit. So this is going to come with the clamps. We have our nuts and bolts and some foam tape. We're also going to be using a 4 and 5mm Allen, as well as a 10mm combo wrench. And then of course we have the front and rear piece to the roof. Next, we need to remove the two top mounting bolts in the visor. And then we have a clip nut that those bolts were going into. We're going to remove both of those and replace them with the bigger ones that come in our kit. Next, I'm going to have a friend help me set the front section of the roof in place. Now we're going to go ahead and loosely install the two M8 by 30mm bolts. Now we're going to set the rear portion of the roof into place, and it's going to sit under this lip on the front section. And keep in mind that these rails on the side, they are going to be facing up. And then we just need to line the holes up on both sections, and we're going to bolt them together. The button head bolt is going to come through the top, and the nylock nuts are going to come through the bottom. Once you have those bolts and nuts installed, we'll go ahead and tighten all 6 of them. Next, we're going to install the 6 roll cage clamps. Now this flat portion, this is going to be facing up against the roof. We'll remove this bigger bolt first. And then we'll take out both mounting bolts. Then we're going to take this rubber strap, we're going to install it around the roll cage right next to the mounting slot. Then we're going to install the clamp around it. And we're going to leave that mounting hardware loose for now. And then we'll repeat those same steps for the remaining 5 clamps. Next, we're going to adjust the roof for the optimal fit. Then once you have the optimal fit, we're going to take the 6 bolts that we removed from the clamps earlier. We're going to put those through the roof along with the washers and tighten them down. Once we have those bolts tightened up, you want to tighten down these clamps evenly on both sides. With all those clamps tightened down, we're going to remove the 8 bolts securing the roof and remove it. Next, we're going to take our roll of foam tape and we're going to cut little sections, and they're going to go in between our mounting locations for the roof. And you know, this foam tape, it doesn't have to cover every inch, but what it's going to be doing is help to dampen vibration to the roof. Now with the foam tape installed, we'll go ahead and set the roof back into place and reinstall and tighten all of the mounting bolts. Next, we're going to install our vented glass windshield. So we've got the windshield itself, the wiper is going to come with it. You've got some mounting clamps and hardware. This is the door vent. You also have some bulb seal and some foam tape. Before we install the windshield, we need to prep it. So to do that, we're going to install the bulb seal first. Now this bulb part of it, that's going to be facing in towards the cab, and we have the outside of our windshield facing up. So I'm going to find the center of the seal, and I'm going to center it on this windshield. And then we're just going to press this into place. And if there's any points where this doesn't press on tight, you can always pinch this together for a tighter fit. Next, we're going to install the vent door. So first thing we're going to do is put that on the side of the windshield that's inside the cab. Then we need to prep the knobs. So first we're going to have one of those solid metal washers, and then we have the rubber grommets that go above that washer. Then we'll just screw these knobs into the vent door. Now we can flip the windshield over. We're going to be working on the top that sits inside the cab. So make sure this surface is clean, then we're going to apply our foam tape. So we're just going to come around this edge right here, and if you have any extra foam tape, you can just cut it off. Next, we're going to remove this button at the top of the windshield, and we're just using some pliers to squeeze the tabs in on the bottom side. Now we can install the windshield wiper knob. So first we're going to remove this smaller nut. And we've got this bigger one. There's a washer and grommet behind it. And then with that stuff removed, we're going to leave that second grommet and everything else behind it installed. We'll put that through the back of the windshield and then reinstall this other stuff in the same order. Then we're going to use 2 17mm open-end wrenches to snug both of the bigger nuts down. Then we can install the blade onto the wiper arm. So we're just popping this tab up, squeeze on both sides, move it up, stick the wiper arm between that hole in it, and then we're going to hook this on and snap the cover in place. Now, You want to pull up on the cover on the arm. Then we're going to hold the bottom side of the knob, remove the smaller nut, and then we're going to keep the wiper arm in alignment with that knob. So, and there's all these teeth right here. Just make sure you line up the teeth on the arm when it goes on. So once you've checked your alignment, you can go ahead and install that smaller nut and tighten it down. And then we're going to go install the clamps onto our roll cage. To install these clamps, we're going to remove those 2 bolts from the back side. We've got this rubber strip, and the first one we're going to install just above this weld on that A-pillar. And then for the clamp, the flat side is going to be facing forward and inward. You want to leave these clamps loose enough that you can move them around and make adjustments to the windshield. Next, I'm going to remove that bolt on the front side of the clamp. Then we're going to take the tape measure. We're going to measure from the center of that bolt hole 15.5 inches up. And then that's going to be the center of the bolt hole for the next clamp. So we'll install that clamp and remove the bolt from the front, and then go do those same steps on the other side. Next, I'm going to have a friend help me set the windshield in place, and we're going to loosely install the 4 mounting bolts into the clamps. With everything loosely installed, we'll go ahead and adjust the windshield for the optimal fitment, and then tighten all of the hardware down. Moving on to the rear window, you should have 4 flap seals that came with the kit. These are going to install in the 2 slots in that rear window, top and bottom. Now on the bottom of the window, we're going to install this long flap seal. And then I'm going to start in the middle and work it out to the sides. To install the rear window, we're going to have to install it from inside of the cab. It is recommended to remove the seats, but you don't necessarily have to. So we're just going to set this in place. You'll also want to pull on the seat belts and pull those out to the sides. That way the little notch can clear the seat belt mount. Next, we're going to install the P-clamps. We're going to start with the 2 on top, and when you install these, make sure the flat side is sitting against the rear window on the outside. With those top 2 clamps in place, I'm going to take the bolt and the washer. We're going to go from the inside of the windshield through that clamp. You're probably going to have to pinch the clamp tight. And then install the nut on the back side. Then we'll install the hardware through the other top clamp and do those same steps for the remaining clamps around the roll cage. With all the hardware loosely installed, we can go ahead and adjust the rear window for the optimal fitment and then tighten it all down. Just make sure you don't over tighten the hardware or you're going to crack the rear window. And that's how you install the Tusk Stage 2 Upgrade Kit on your Polaris XP 41000 or your XP Turbo. It's really not that hard to do, and if you need this kit, they're available on our website. If you have any questions about the install process, leave those questions down in the comments below. And if you want to see more helpful content for your Polaris RZR, make sure you subscribe to our channel. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain. Thanks for watching.